Hi everyone, it's Amy, and today in my kitchen I am making a lemon zucchini bundt cake. This citrusy cake is so good and so moist thanks to the zucchini, and I've topped it with a very delicious lemon glaze with a little bit of candied lemon zest. So let's get started and I'll show you just how easy this garden fresh cake is to make. First up, you're going to need a mixer or a mixing bowl with a hand mixer, and you're going to add in 3/4 cup of oil. This is just a vegetable oil. You'll need 1.5 cups of granulated sugar and 3 eggs. All right, let's mix that up until it's combined. So we're gonna zest 2 lemons, which is about a tablespoon of lemon zest. I don't get too picky in measuring it. You can if you want to. I have a whole tutorial on how to zest a lemon. So if you've never done it and you want the nitty gritty on it, you can go check that out. Otherwise, you basically want to get a zester, get your lemon, and just take off the yellow part. You do not want any of that white part. Let's get our second lemon going. Now you'll need about 1/4 cup of lemon juice. And since we have these lemons, I'm just going to use these. You can use the bottled stuff, but I tell you, it just is not as good. I've got a handy little citrus press. And you're going to need about 1/4 cup. Again, I'm just going to go with it. I know baking is a science. You should measure. Feel free to do that. But I'm just going to wing it here, you guys. And finally, because if that's not enough lemon flavor, I am adding in about a teaspoon of lemon extract. And this is very concentrated, so you probably don't want to go more than a teaspoon. If you feel like the lemon zest and the lemon juice is enough for you, you can skip it and just do vanilla extract. All right, we're gonna mix this up. And now we're gonna add in 2 cups of flour. We have 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. It's gonna give our cake a really nice rise. And now we're gonna mix this up for about 2 minutes. The final piece is 1.5 cups of shredded zucchini, and this is a fresh zucchini. Now, sometimes you might find yourself using frozen zucchini, which if you do that, just make sure you press out as much of that liquid as possible. We'll give it a quick stir. All right, that looks beautiful. Finally, you're gonna grab a 12-cup bundt pan, and this is my favorite one. You can check out all of my Amazon favorites if you click on my website and you go to my shop button. I've linked up all of my favorite things in the kitchen, and this bundt pan by far is one of my favorites. You're going to want to use some baking spray. Make sure you choose the kind that says baking and it has flour in it, and you're going to really give it a good coating. If you don't have baking spray, you can definitely use a lard like a Crisco. Give it a nice thick coating and then sprinkle it with flour. And then I also have a homemade cake release on my website, kind of like what our grandparents used to use. And that works beautifully too. Sadly, I am all out and I need to refresh my pantry with that. All right, this cake is gonna go in the oven at 325 degrees for an hour. I'll be back. Okay, welcome back, guys. I've taken the cake out of the oven. I've let it cool for about 5 minutes in the pan. And I'm just gonna run a knife along the edges here. Make sure it's not sticking. And flip. It worked. Okay, so we're gonna make the icing for our zucchini cake. And in the bowl, I have 2 cups of powdered sugar. And we're gonna zest the lemon into a separate bowl. In this bowl, I have a tablespoon of granulated sugar. So for the icing, when I juice this lemon, we need about 2 tablespoons of juice. And this lemon feels a little smaller. So I did juice a separate, get all that zest out of there. I did juice a separate lemon just in case we need more juice. All right, so let's take those 2 halves and do the other one. So I have a couple tablespoons here, just in case you want it a little bit thinner. So this is the consistency I like. Now in this bowl, I had a tablespoon of sugar, and we've added in the lemon zest, and I'm just gonna mix them together and create like a candied lemon zest. And not only does this add flavor to your cake, but it's going to look so pretty too. And now we're just going to drizzle this over the top. And I like to just run it along the center and let it just naturally drip where it wants to go. And now we're going to take that candied sugar, candied lemon, I guess it is, not candied sugar, and sprinkle that over the top. Look how pretty that is. Okay, let's cut ourselves a slice of this cake. Let's give it a bite. Oh, it is so good. There's so much lemon flavor bursting. I think you're going to love it too. Enjoy.